have here. This has been a long time coming. This is going to be a review on a short action bolt gun that I got from Short Action Custom. There's their information. Mark Gordon, the owner, and a wonderful guy to deal with. Let me show you what we have in the case here. Granted, it does not come with the case, and this particular model has been painted by me, but there you have it. It is a 260 caliber, 260 rim on a Alpha 2 Short Action Custom action. It's based off of 700 Remington. Bartlein Barrel, heavy contour, heavy spiral fluted. Has a Jewell trigger with the bottom safety, which I really prefer over the top safety. And it's on a Mcree Precision stock. Now let me pull it out and I'll show you some of the details on it here. Some of these have nothing to do with accuracy, but it just shows you the attention to detail. Now, not knowing if you can really see it in the camera or not, but that is a threaded cap over top of the muzzle. Now, I do run a suppressor on this. You can see it unscrew there. Now with the paint job, it is really tough to see. I mean, this thing, it just blends so well. Even before it was painted, I think it actually blended better. The fluting, even though I believe they do outsource that, it's a phenomenal job. I like the sharp edges. I don't want it rounded. Let me just take you all the way down here. Again with a fluted bolt. And then let me give you some shots of this stock, which the chassis system I really like. Mcree Precision, I believe, does a wonderful job. You can see the seam right there, and that is so that you can actually exchange this forearm area for a different length or different styling if you desire. And yes, it is a folder. Fully adjustable cheek weld, fully adjustable butt pad. Has all the amenities that you would need as far as if you did desire to run a monopod on it. It is heavier than some of the other options out there, but if you're going to build a precision bolt gun, weight is not a downside. Actually, it helps you out a lot. So now it did come with the rails, which I've added. You can remove those if you desire to do so. And I have it topped with a 5-25 PM II by Schmidt Bender. Wonderful scope too, by the way. And this is also a Mcree Precision butt pad. I mean cheek pad rest. Doesn't really need any padding, so it doesn't really build up much. And that was the problem I had trying to find one. Is most of them have some sort of padding in here that makes it too tall. I didn't really want that, but just to have something other than the metal to lay your face against is nice. Plus, you also have pocket here that it would hold one of the 10-round magazines if I desired to put it in there. I keep my wrench for my scope and other things in there, just so that I can keep everything handy. It came to me already Cerakoted in the coyote tan color, and then since that time I have went over top of that with some Duracoat and give it some accents that you can see. The fish scale look, you can watch my other video on painting. We painted this and a Savage 10 at the same time, but we basically just used some netting and oversprayed the Cerakote that was already there. I like the way it turned out. I didn't want nothing real drastic, but this is a subtle camo pattern. It kind of breaks it up a little bit, and I really like it. And I'm the only one that have to please on this because it's mine. Give you a shot of the action. Let me see if I can get down here and now this thing is dry. I don't know if you can tell in the video or not, but I mean it hasn't been shot in quite some time. It's been setting. I've been running other guns and I haven't actually done much shooting lately. So the bolt's dry as a bone, but I want you to just notice how smooth. I mean, it's smooth as silk. Even though this has been Cerakoted, and even inside has been Cerakoted, at least some parts have been. Super duper. Mark actually, when I received this gun from, I had to ship it to a FFL. Haven't even met Mark. Never been up there. Never met him, but he came highly recommended, and Short Action Customs came highly recommended to me from a friend. Couldn't find out I could get this rifle, and so I did. And when it was shipped to my FFL, I had specified that I desired a bottom Jewell safety instead of a top. The top safety would normally be here in this area. When it came with a top safety. So I called Mark, talked to him. You know, he fully understood, apologized for the mistake, and I'm not sure really if it was a mistake in on communication or if it was actually sold with a top safety and then I just wanted to change it. But either way, no problem, no questions asked. He shipped out the bottom safety, I believe the same day, told me how to go about swapping it out, which was no trouble at all. And then, you know, send me a return mail envelope for the return of the one I was taking off. No questions asked, no money, and just awesome the way he handles his business. And I think it's just a testament to how well you can be served by somebody that truly desires your business and knows how to treat a customer, so that they can get a return customer, and so that I'll shoot this video and gladly support him and recommend him. Here's another little touch Mcree Precision does on there. I really like it, and I'll show you how this folds here in a moment. And another thing Mark did for me is when I received it, I received 3 mags. They were 10-round mags, and AI mags. And if you're familiar with these, there's actually a couple of different styles out there. This is for the short action, of course, but I think it's the Arctic Winter type mag. Anyway, the one I received was different. It was longer. It was a single stack version, and it was longer. And it had some pieces in this piece of metal where they pieced the mag together right here, this seam that's welded on this one. On the other, it had another piece spot welded on the inside to hold it together. Which, you know, there's nothing wrong with that mag, but the problem I was incurring was I wanted to shoot this, I was still developing a load for it, and I wanted to be able to run my projectile out just as long as I possibly could, and because of that piece of metal in there, I couldn't gain. There was a few thousandths there, I couldn't gain. Called him up, told him my dilemma and my desire. He said no problem. I sent him a picture of the mags over the phone. No problem. He shipped me out 3 of these mags, double stack, which I like better. I know some guys say they have a problem with them, you know, the bullets coming out of them too easily, like when they're just laying around or something, if they drop one on the ground or something. But I don't shoot competition with this gun. It doesn't bother me, and I prefer not to have the mag sticking out quite so long, and so I like that clean look better. But he shipped these out. We traded them out, no problem. Shipped them back to him. I mean, just awesome guys to deal with. Just awesome guys to deal with. Let me get back to the rifle here. They, what we have here is it's a 20 mil cant rail on top of the action. And this is all part of their action, which I believe is. I'll have to put that in an annotation or in a description. But it's their model of a different action that they're working with another company to build this action, but it's the Alpha 2. I really love it. And then I have got the US Optics cant device, anti-cant device, I guess I should say. Let me go ahead and unscrew that. We're going to be taking some shots here in a moment. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I believe these are Nightforce rings, and I may be wrong on that. I'll have to go back and look. Or Badgers, I'm not sure. And I believe the scope cap covers. I believe they actually came with the scope. Just I mean, in my opinion, of course it's mine, I'm a little biased, just a beautiful, beautiful rifle. And a tack driver. I'll try to roll in some footage of some groups that I shot while I was still developing loads for it. But I can go ahead and give you a heads up. It is, if you do your part and you have a good tuned load for the rifle, it is no problem whatsoever getting a quarter MOA group. Now, like I said, that was at 100 yards, but a quarter MOA is a quarter MOA regardless. The only thing that opens it up really is atmospheric conditions and the shooter's ability at longer distances. But the gun is capable, and so basically I would say the gun will outshoot most people's capabilities. But enough talk about the gun, let's see it in action. I promised you I was going to show you this folding stock feature on here. It works really nice to be able to fold this stock so that when you're cleaning, if you want to clean the rifle, and it's basically like a kind of like a AK. You just lift up on the rear section to disengage it, and it locks in the open position and then closed as well. There is no play. When it's locked in, it is locked. I don't know if you can notice that, but there's no wiggle, no noticeable wiggle at all. But what I started to say, when you go to cleaning, it's really nice to be able to get your bolt out without messing with your cheek riser. You don't have to take it off, you don't have to do anything, just fold it out of the way, get your bolt out of the way, and get to cleaning. I don't believe this one's been shot since I painted it, and of course it was degreased then, so it's still pretty clean now. The gun probably has about 400 rounds to it, just broken in really. And this is also a good shot of this bipod. It's been painted, but it is an Atlas bipod picker rail mount. And the beauty of this thing is its adjustability. And to me, it's no comparison. Granted, I don't own a bunch of different bipods, but when you find something that works, why mess with it, right? Little button here with a detent, you can go vertical, you go 45 back, of course you go 90 back, 45 forward or 90 forward. The knurling is really well done, you have full adjustability, and the ability to go 45 degrees forward, especially like in this scenario, allows me to get the front end of the rifle lower so that the rear bag works better for me. And I don't have to stack two bags, I don't have to have a monopod. I don't really care for monopods, just add something else to the rifle I don't need. I don't mind carrying a bag with me, they're not that heavy, especially if you fill them with something like rice or something lightweight. But speaking of weight, the rifle actually weighs in at 17.5 pounds the way it sits right now. That's with the scope, with my suppressor on it and everything. That's a Mac Brothers suppressor. And the bipod, everything, no magazine, no ammo, but everything you see, just like you see it setting, 17.5 pounds, which is a good weight for a target type gun. It's not going to be easy to move around. It's not going to shift around on you a whole lot unknowingly unless you manipulate it in somehow. So I like the weight for what it's intended for. Now if I was going to hunt with it a whole lot and carry it through the woods, I definitely wouldn't do this. I wouldn't use this rifle. I'd get me something else a little bit lighter in weight. When talking about the action, I forgot to mention a while ago, I actually had asked Mark right before he shipped it about bedding this action for me in this chassis, and he said it wasn't necessary, didn't need it, never had a need to do it before, and because of the way the chassis is designed, it was not necessary. Well, I actually had some bedding compound here, and I thought, well, I'll just do it myself, and well, he was right. There is no room for bedding. That thing fits so snugly, everything squeezes out. There's basically no room, and it's as bedded as good as it could possibly get bedded, I guess. Another benefit, I guess, of doing a well-made chassis system like the Mcree Precision, and there's many others, AI and several others, I'm sure that do well. But if you have one that has good detailed drawings and a good CNC machine that makes those things exactly to the specifications, the bedding to me has not been an issue, and I've had it out. Let's see, we went over a little 920 yards, I think it was. Held a real tight group. It was still holding it right at a quarter MOA at 920 yards. So, and maybe I'll annotate the video where I shot that group and let you see that also. Alright, I'm going to take a few shots to let you see the rifle in action, then I'll move the camera and set it up behind me so you can see some impacts. I've got a field full of freshly painted targets down there, 375 yards away, and we'll see if we can make some hits. I'm dialed up 1.5 mil. I got I think it's a 2/3 size torso target I'm going to try to put some hits on. And this is where I really like the bottom safety instead of over the top safety. Because I'm down here and I'm ready to shoot, I can just click that safety off like so, instead of having to reach up here and manipulate it as a top safety would be. Alright, let's see if we can make a hit. Should be able to hear it if I make impact. Rocked it pretty good. Got a little wind today, and so not a whole lot, but it is affecting my windage. Elevation looks pretty good though. I'll send a few and make sure it wasn't me. No, because that first one just barely nicked the edge of the plate. The second one missed, as you can tell, with no sound of impact. So I had already moved my sight. Let's see, that would be about quarter MOA, a quarter mil. Let's see what that does for us. And I'll get this thing, I'll run it a little faster here in a moment. I'm just trying to get dialed in on this windage and everything. There it is. It was kind of funny because the first shot I'd popped at 100 yards. And of course, now thinking back, I realized it was a cold bore shot. Rifle had just been cleaned, no fouling in it. So it takes a little while to get your accuracy back up, in my opinion, to reestablish that fouling in the barrel. But I took a few shots off camera at 100 yards just to confirm my zero, and I was hitting left a quarter mil. And so I dialed my windage quarter mil and to correct for it, But now I'm about 7 or 8 shots into this string total on the rifle since the cleaning, and I can see now my turret is turned back to my original 0. It's funny how a lot of people don't realize when you got a brand new clean bore, your accuracy, at least in my experience, is not going to be as good as if you had some fouling already established into the bore. So let's take a few more shots. That last one was a dead on center hit. It was perfect. Let's see if we can mimic it. Right on top of it. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and move the camera while I'm hitting good. Okay, there's the shots that I just took. Now you see a spot at the head where the nose would be on the torso. That is actually not a shot, but a red speck of paint that I put on there just to have something to aim at. And then you see 2 dead center, and then you see 1 off to the left, a little low of dead center. Those are the 3 hits I just made. 1 was a flyer, went off the left-hand side. I seen it impact the dirt behind in the berm. So then I realized that adjustment that I had made earlier, that half mil adjustment where I was establishing my fouling, I had to pull back to my original 0 on my scope, and that's what brought me right back on target. I'm going to actually zoom back a little bit for you guys, so in hopes that you can see a little bit of the trace. Definitely a hit. A little left. Swinging now. Trying to time the swing. Go back to the center since it's moving. Oh, I am over here. Alright, I got another bag. Anyway, that'll give you an idea. Granted, if you had a better shooter, you'd probably do a whole lot better with it. But it makes a decent shooter look really good. Let's see if we can have a little bit more fun. It's always fun when you're making hits. It stops being fun when you start missing. All those targets are same distance. We'll start on the left, see if we can make some hits on them. Can't see that one. Sticks in the way. I have to skip one. Oh, that's a terrible sound. Click. Alright, here we go. Oh, I like that sound. I think I like it a lot. see that red dot? It's getting bigger, but it's changing colors almost, isn't it? Oh man, lots and lots of fun. Of course, the barrel's heating up. It's rapid fire succession, and the suppressor's getting pretty warm, I suspect. Oh, it's fun. Oh man, that's fun. Definition of fun, or a fun day that has been had. Let me show you what that is. It's right there on the ground. Bunches of brass. Fun, 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 fun. Anyway, back to the review. I'm supposed to be doing a review on this gun, and it is so much fun to shoot because of its precision. Like I said, it's a lot more accurate than I'll ever be, but the doggone gun just makes shooting a lot of fun. So let me share with you the reason I went this route instead of just buying a factory gun, why I had a custom gun delivered to me, is because, for one, when my father passed away several years back, I got all his weapons, and he was a big time hunter, but he was a practical user of firearms and not necessarily so much into collecting them, but using them. Now, I don't know that he had anything that he didn't actually use, which is nothing wrong with that. But thinking about that and thinking, well, boy howdy, it would have been nice if he'd had some kind of really nice gun that could have been passed down, more of a type of heirloom type weapon. And I just thinking, here's something that I could purchase and enjoy while I'm here, but also something that's going to be worth something later on if I'm gone and pass this down to one of my children. Now, granted, that was a good excuse for me to pull the trigger and spend that much money, right? However, I am tickled to death with this gun. And if I have a need for another short action gun, I've about come to the conclusion that I probably will not buy a factory gun, because the differences in the tolerances, the difference in the precision that's capable from a quality, reputable builder, it's just it's no comparison. It really is no comparison. Granted, I don't know about as far as a hunting type weapon. You probably better off go with a factory gun for that, because around here where we hunt, you don't get very long distance shots anyway, and past 500 yards hardly ever, unless you're actually trying to get that far away from them, which is fun, but not necessary in this area. I know out west it's different, but here in North Carolina where we're at, most of our shots, actually, if you're really just hunting normally, you could get most of your shots within 100 yards. So I mean, you could do that with just about any platform out there. But if you want something for precision shooting, maybe competition, maybe you just want to plink targets at long distances and have something as good as you can possibly get, go with a custom builder. Go with a good quality custom builder. You will not regret it.